I'm going to be
intro the podcast.
Okay. That's your job.
Okay. Hello.
No one wants me to intro the podcast.
Let's say hi at the same time.
I would love that.
Okay, ready?
Uh-huh.
1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to the Expanders podcast. Wow. Today I have the most attractive guest I've ever had on my podcast.
I'm the first guest, so.
And actually, well, maybe you will be the first guest. I'm not sure what the order will be.
I'm going to say I'm first.
But you're extremely attractive. You have dimples and an incredible jawline. And your name is?
Anais.
Anais
Fairweather.
Fairweather.
Anais Fairweather.
Anais. Okay, we've been talking about your name because people say Anais.
Since 4th grade, Keith Romero called me Anais. And it's completely... Keith. Shout out to Keith Romero. I actually did see him at my 20-year high school reunion as of late. And
Really?
I wish I would have talked to him more. I feel like he was the one person I really wanted to talk to because he was a crush for a long time. He was like my best friend also. And
Do you have a pic?
Not on me. Cause
Okay,
again, I told you my phone's been off for years and no one's trying to call me.
Well, maybe we can get a picture of Keith and put it on the Expanders podcast Instagram.
He honestly, he would love that.
Really?
We'll
see.
Die.
What if no one follows our Instagram?
Well, then we're dead in the water.
Let's talk about that.
I would love to.
Let's talk about what if no one follows our Instagram.
Okay, how are we going to handle being on that ledge?
Well, no, what I'm saying is I want to unpack that thought because that's my shadow self.
Oh my God.
Her name is Abby. I named her Abby.
Y or IE? I just want to know what I'm
EY.
dealing with. EY.
She's a
Holy
fucking
shit,
bitch.
She sounds like a bitch.
I was going to say cunt, but I didn't. She's a fucking cunt. No,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
is
Yeah.
so afraid. She has so much anxiety. I talk about her. You're so funny.
Well, we've talked about anxiety. Every time we see each other, we talk about our
we?
anxiety. I feel like it.
Well, like the anxiety is the shadow self.
Yeah.
The anxiety is there to keep us small and safe. The anxiety is there to protect us, I say in quotes. But like I feel like so many people can relate to anxiety.
100%. We are in an anxious group of people.
Yeah.
Everybody has
Yeah.
anxiety. It just depends on how people handle their anxiety. Do they retract or do they use it to fuel themselves? But everybody has anxiety.
Have you ever met anyone that's like, I really don't have anxiety? Like, have you really?
Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, but have you ever?
Whoever
I
says
don't
that
think
is
I
a
ever
big
have.
fucking liar. There is no way someone's like, I don't have anxiety.
I know.
I don't trust that person.
Well, I just don't know. I don't.
No, that
Yeah,
doesn't make
I don't
sense.
think I would trust that person either or they're just like so unaware of themselves.
Right. They're so disconnected to their body.
But what I wanted to talk about is, as an expander,
Yeah.
I want to talk about things that we want to take a pause and think about.
I think the idea of people not following social media and social media as a whole is such an important conversation because I think about this a lot. Now, I have an experience that I'm basing this on. When I was very early pregnant with my first child, this was like 3 years ago, my mom and I went to Sedona. We were like, we're going to go to Sedona. We're going to get our palms read. We're going to do the cards. We're going to get fortunes told. We're going to sit on the vortex. We are going to get empowered, baby.
Shit, I've done it. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun.
It's so fun. We had such a great time. And so while we're at this beautiful resort and spa in the middle of this amazing Red Rock,
And you're preggy.
and I'm preggy, early preggy, I see these two beautiful young girls who are wearing matching white bikinis. They're probably 15 years old, twins, beautiful blonde hair, like stunning, okay? They walk into the pool area. They took off their robes. They got out their cameras. They took 3 photos of each other modeling in the pool. Then they put on their robes and left. And that was their experience, being in the middle of a vortex of one of the most beautiful places on the planet. They didn't even experience it, but they pretended to. So everybody at home who's looking at their phones and watching these 2 beautiful girls pose in the pool are thinking, why don't I get to do that? I'm at home. I'm not even in the middle of this. I'm not experienced what they are. But guess what? They're not experiencing it either. So what are we doing?
But like, were you triggered?
I was triggered.
Because
was
you
so
were
triggered.
upset for the people that you were assuming were upset watching. Like, you were feeling empathy for these people and pissed off at these girls who are young and maybe dumb. No judgment, but like, you know, no, everyone's dumb when they're 15 for the most part.
I was a big
But
idiot.
like, were you were feeling feelings for the people who were watching their Instagram?
Yeah. And I was also feeling feelings for the 15-year-olds because
You were feeling feelings also because you were preggy.
and I was pregnant with a daughter.
And you have these values of like, look around you. This is beautiful. This is what you should,
Which is what we got to experience when we were 15 and a pool was available to us. We were cannonballing
Yes.
as hard as we
I would
could.
do that now.
Absolutely. Because we got to experience life in the moment, not through a filter.
Yeah.
Kids now have to experience life through a filter.
How does that feel being a mom?
It's
Because there's like a new world of parenting now.
a whole new world.
By the way, I have no
Cyber
children.
world.
I have 2 dogs, and I don't plan on having children.
And that's a great thing to choose
Yeah.
for yourself.
Yes.
And for your life.
I wonder, as a parent, how do you feel? Like, I don't want to have kids because I know how much anxiety I would have with kids. And I know, like, I would be like, well, the world's going to end, and like, you know, all these horrible thoughts.
God. And that's never going to change. It's like we live in a time that is so awful in so many ways where it's hard to think about having kids right now. But then my mom was like, I felt the same way back when you were born because we were learning about the ozone layer being destroyed.
Yes.
So it's like there's never a good time.
Yes.
If you want to have kids, do it because it is the most life-changing, beautiful experience of your life where it really is, but you have to want it. And
Yeah.
God, do not do it for any other reason than what you genuinely want because it is so hard.
I mean,
I'm looking at all the cameras. I just looked in your camera to tell the
look
camera.
in all, it's hard. I mean, it's like the biggest commitment you can ever make, ever. I mean, we were just talking about this.
It's the
It's
only thing
like
that you can't change.
Terrifying.
The only decision in life that you cannot change. You could have kids and then say, you know what, I can't do this. I'm going to put them up for adoption. But you're never not a parent. You're changed forever.
Yeah.
No matter what happens with those kids.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. So watching this go down and experiencing this
Can't
for
believe
my
this is like a big
children,
memory of yours.
Huge, huge memory. Because it was the first time that I think I was like, this is what a lot of kids are going through. Like junior high now is your popularity is based on your followers.
Really?
In junior high.
Yeah.
Junior high was hell. Hell on earth. 7th and 8th grade is hell.
Oh my God. Do you see these do you watch TikToks?
I don't.
You don't? You should, because your Instagram reels are so funny. You need to be, if you guys please watch Anais's Instagram reels. They're so funny. And what are they called?
It's basically like mom self, former self versus mom self.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's called something. Is it called former self
And
versus
then motherhood, just like motherhood.
Okay. But I watched
Snippets.
this girl on TikTok. Some people, they're like kids these days, and they'll do an impression of kids that are like posing and they're gorgeous and they seem to have their shit together and a lot of money and a lot of resources. So, right? And then the person will just say like me at 12, and it like an actual video of like this fumbling, sloppy, nerdy kid
Picking their wedgie.
like that's
toilet paper on their shoe.
We're so lucky we didn't have cameras back then. I would have been even more of a mess than I am.
Okay, question for you.
Chaos. Tell me.
Can you tell me, because I immediately know what I would say about the reason why I'm glad there aren't cameras. Like, was there something you did in junior high or like in that area of life that was so embarrassing?
I mean, just my face, to be honest. I had I didn't have the regular stick-on braces that are pretty, that just stick on the front of your teeth.
Stick-on? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like they glue them on.
Glue on,
Not
yeah.
stick-on, but like, I
It's
guess
not
stick-on.
press on nails. You had those press on braces?
No, they have, I had the wraparound kinds.
What?
So basically, there was a band that wraps around your entire tooth, and you look so metallic. And it caused me to have, when I got them taken off, I had so many problems with my teeth because I wasn't able to floss at all. There was no access to my teeth. They were fully wrapped for like a long time. We didn't know any better. We also didn't have a ton of money. So like, I just don't think my parents like were able to get me fancy braces. And also, I feel like I would have been cool with a little gap tooth, but whatever. I just had a gap
100%.
tooth.
You would have had a great
fine.
gap tooth. Look,
Thanks.
this is also.
But that's, it's the, and also I would match my scrunchie to my leggings. And I don't know if that's embarrassing or just legendary at this
that's
point.
legendary.
But it was
Always?
always. It was like a fluffy bang, a half up scrunchie in a floral print, leggings with the lace on the bottom. I'm a kid of the 90s. So
I am too.
Okay, well, I'm older than you.
Well, I'm older than most other people. No,
I don't know if it was like that was cringy or if it was embarrassing. I mean, oh my God.
that's beautiful.
There's
Are you
so
kidding
many.
me?
There's
If my daughter was like, Mom, we need to go to the store because I want to be able to match all my scrunchies to all of my leggings, I would run to the store. We would be in
Really?
the car.
I mean, no, my
1
mom
second,
supported
done.
me. I just feel like, I guess that's not really, that was embarrassing. I think it would just be like the wraparound braces. I was also like chubby and desperate for you to like me. I was like the chubby class clown. And I was like always doing bits, doing characters, needing you to like me. So I was that kid.
I'm that adult.
Yeah.
I just need to get the
fuck.
scrunchie and leggings down.
You'd look cute with it.
I really honestly think I would.
Scrunchies are back. Huge ones.
I love a scrunchie. Now, how many scrunchies and leggings did you have?
Oh man. I mean, at the time, I would say a good 4 or 5 in rotation. I would say. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, at least 4 or 5.
But like, I just look back at that girl. Actually, I was talking to my therapist yesterday, and I was also like a month ago. I don't know if I told you, but I had a numerologist do my numbers, and I was a little skeptical about it.
Can we do that sometime? I would love to do that.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'll give you her info.
Please.
But like, you mean like on the podcast, or just like
anytime.
any?
I
I'll
love to
give you
do
her
that,
number.
yeah.
Her name is Janine Sloan. I think that's her name. Susie Barrett gave me her info,
love
and
Susie.
Stephanie Allen.
Oh, great. Stephanie's great.
I just heard, Stephanie didn't give it to me, but I just heard there's like a group, and Mary Holland. There's like a group of people that went to her, and I was like, ooh, I want to go. And so I went, and she said, now there's a difference between, your numbers are different for Jessica versus Jess. What do you go by? And so I said, Jess. And she said, okay, because Jessica, she's struggling right now. And Jess is thriving. And so I was talking to my therapist about
And
this.
Jessica is your birth name.
Jessica's my birth name. Jessica's the name that I used to use up until like maybe 10 years ago. And I was like, I want to be Jess. I want to be cool. I want to be casual. I want to be Jess. Forget about the Ika. You could just call me Jess. Because it felt warmer. It felt more welcoming. It just had a different feeling than Jessica. And also Jessica was this girl who was so painfully insecure, so painfully needing you to like her that her survival depended on it. You know what I mean? And so
Yes, of course.
I think I mentioned I went to Hoffman. I think I told you.
Yes.
So I went to Hoffman, and Hoffman, you go by your name that you were called as a kid when you're there. Hoffman is this 7-day therapy retreat. It changed my life. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. It's pricey, but worth it. So I went to Hoffman, and so this theme started popping up in my life of like Jessica versus Jess. And so I talked to my therapist yesterday, and I said, Jessica, like we were talking about money, and I have different accounts. I have business accounts and a personal account. My personal account is like real sad, but my business accounts are okay. And I don't know if you can relate to that.
I can. Yeah.
But like this kid that you were growing up, this kid, or even just like this young adult, and now you as an adult, like the difference between that, I don't know, like what are your feelings on that?
I completely relate to this. And it is so wild that the numerology of these two people is different and so
names.
accurate.
I think it's the number of letters in your name. I'm not
So
sure.
if you would have continued to go by Jessica, your life would have been different. You wouldn't have stepped into your power, maybe.
I don't know.
You would have been holding on to this other thing as
Maybe.
opposed to moving towards what you resonated more deeply with you as an adult, coming into this world and having her own business and becoming all the things that she always wanted to be.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable. This is why I want to get I want to go to a numerologist for sure. I can 100% relate to that. I think that it also kind of comes up when you're hanging out with people who you used to hang out with when you were young.
Oh my God, yes.
And they have a certain expectation of who you are.
Yes, or you feel different.
Yes.
Tell me about that in your experience.
I mean, so I feel like when I decided to be my own Jess, right? About 15 years ago when I decided to be an actor, I had to put a lot of my relationships on pause.
That was just 15 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I was going to be a journalist. I went to school for journalism and sociology.
Really?
I wanted to be a broadcast journalist.
I just assumed you were always that performer, that person that was on stage. You just have such a performative, is that the word?
Yeah.
Like just like you're just like such a performer. Like it seems so natural.
It is natural, but it is bizarre because so my Jessica, you know, growing up, I was very quiet, very scared. It's really weird to think about the way that you feel and the way that people think you are, right? It's like when I think about myself as a child, all I can think of is how scared I was. My dad was 64 years old when I was born. So my dad was born in 1919.
Holy
my father,
cannoli.
my parents were 30 years
I think
apart
I
in
knew
age.
this.
These are things, right? All these things kind
Yes.
of start to come back. And so he was 64 years old when I was born. He was really sick throughout my life. It was a lot of like rugs being constantly pulled out, like your dad is dying. And then all of a sudden dad miraculously recovered and he's coming home from the hospital, but you know, he's going to fall down the stairs tomorrow and then it's going to start all over again. So there was a constant, the ground was never solid. Like the foundation of my house was like, there was always turmoil. And it was my brother and I. We were kind of like, you know, each other's support, and we survived because of each other in a lot of ways.
What's the age difference?
3 years.
Okay.
So my brother, I love him so much. And that's a whole other thing when we talk about expanders. Like he's helped me grow in ways that I didn't really want to grow. Like he was in a really crappy marriage, you know, terrible marriage, terrible person. And it really shifted our relationship. We were each other's rock for so long. And then he married somebody who I was like, don't marry her. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. He did it. He's gone. He's gone for years, for 15 years. He was gone.
Like you just did not talk to him at all?
No, we talked because he had kids. Yeah, when they got pregnant, when he had his daughter, Ashlyn, my niece, who I love, is 11 now. So when they got pregnant, I came back because I was like, I want a relationship with my niece. And then he had a son, and so I have a wonderful relationship with them. But he was there, but he was gone. You know, he was completely in a relationship where it was like Stockholm syndrome. I mean, she was like an abuser you know,
that's not good.
Not good.
So you as an actor going back into this relationship,
yes,
or you as this version of yourself.
So it's like I was terrified as a child. Then I decided I wanted to be an actor. And when I made that decision, it was like I knew, well, after my dad passed away when I was 13, things shifted for me. It was like I wasn't scared anymore of the impending death that was going to happen. It happened, and then it was like I survived. I'm alive, and maybe now I want to make decisions for myself that are for myself and not to keep that alive. Right? So now all of a sudden it was like I came out, I started being silly, and then in college I started doing some acting fun things with my sorority. That's right. I was a sorority.
I can see that.
What are you talking about? But
I can see you totally in a sorority. Do you have any pictures? If you do, we're going to put them on that Expanders podcast.
I have
Instagram.
So many pictures. But the part of me that is the performer,
yeah,
there's two sides of that. There's a side of it that I genuinely love that existed after my dad passed away that like is a place of like it's my true self, and then there's a part of it that is performing to keep dad alive, right?
Really? So was the performance to keep dad entertained or happy or alive?
The house. My mom and my brother are the same. They're cut from the same cloth. And that cloth is very competitive. I mean, my brother, like at 6, would beat my mom in Monopoly. Like it was, and so I was always trying to keep the peace, make everybody happy.
Yes, same.
You know, distract over here with this like shiny thing, Yeah. And then,
I find that that's true for a lot of the clowns is we're surrounded by something that's dark or scary or whatever. And you need to make sure that everybody's happy and you like us and we're okay. You're okay. You're happy. I'm happy. Look at us. And that's why we need to, I wonder if that's,
I think it's true for a lot of comedians. I
Yeah.
think the reason why we go into comedy is for survival. A lot of times.
yes, my cousin growing up was pretty abusive. He was like an older brother. He was just like verbally abusive. He wasn't like a little, not really. He would beat up other kids for me. He was just, you know,
So was your bodyguard?
he was a bodyguard / also my abuser.
Oh,
Not like,
okay.
I guess we're just going to go there, but basically
there.
I would have to make,
that's what this is.
right? That's,
We
we're
know we
here.
can't
I'm
escape
getting
it.
real on this podcast.
We can't
I'm just
escape
gonna
it
get
when we're
real.
with each other.
I would have to make fun of myself before he did. I would have to overly like do it just so that he wouldn't. And also I was always just making jokes to make him happy and lighten the mood. Otherwise, like he was unpredictable. Yeah. But I want to go back to,
Where is this cousin now? Can I ask?
he's a heroin addict
Oh, fuck.
and I don't know. I don't talk to him anymore.
When did you stop talking? When did you cut ties with him?
I cut ties with him like 12 years ago, but crazy shit happened. I went to Florida to clean out my grandmother's condo when she passed away. And I just, all these memories, because there's so, Jewish grandmothers, they have like, literally Jewish mothers, they have pictures of everyone all over. I don't know if, I'm sure that's like any grandmother, just pictures of the family all over the walls, everywhere.
Very similar to Italian.
Okay,
family
yeah. I think
grandmothers.
Jews and Italians are
Very
real.
similar.
Are you Italian?
I'm Italian.
Oh, yeah, you're
yeah.
Sicilian?
I'm Sicilian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hell
we
yeah.
will cut your throat if
Yes.
we need to.
Yeah. Okay. Things took a turn. And so that's our podcast.
What's happening?
No,
Okay, so
but
you cleaned out
so
your
I cleaned
grandma's-
out the grandma's condo in Florida. I had like a really life-changing time doing that. I actually one day want to make a movie about it because it was like
would love
very interesting.
12
a bunch
years
of
ago. This was 12 years ago.
This was a little bit less than that. It was like 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 5-6 years ago, but I'd already stopped talking to my cousin. So taking all of these old photos out of frames energetically it felt energetically heavy. It just felt like years and years. And what my grandmother would do is she would put new pictures in front of old ones. So I would be pulling out, because we wanted the pictures for our memories, but we didn't want all the frames.
Right. It's too hard.
It's
to
also in
travel
Florida. I had to come back to
Yeah.
LA. And so just excavating this lifetime of stuff made me think about my cousin so much. And I was remembering like how beautiful he was. So cute. All the girls had a crush on him. He was so adorable, attractive, cool, all the cool things. He was from New York. He had this thick Brooklyn accent. He was just like this cute kid that came from New York, that came to LA, and just he had so much potential that if he would have like channeled it into a different way, he would have been fine. But he had no chance. Looking back, I'm like, this kid had no chance. Both his parents were addicts. It was just kind of fucked, unless he was like a crazy, crazy fighter. Anyway, so I take all that stuff. I'm thinking about my cousin. Like I go to therapy. I'm crying over it because I'm just remembering he was like a big brother to me. His mom died when he was 8, so he moved in with us, and he was 11, I was 8, so he was like my big brother.
Whoa.
Growing up, yeah. And so I just was thinking about him so much, and I hadn't seen him in years. So I go to visit my friend. She just had a baby, and I'm going home, and I was like, I'll just stop at Vaughn's to pick up a couple things.
Don't tell me you ran into him.
He was in a wheelchair outside of Vaughn's,
Shut up.
sucking on a lollipop, black eyes, swollen purple hands and feet, still like put together, still smelling good, which was always his thing. He was always like cologne, slick back hair. Like he was always slick back hair. It sounds hilarious, but like he was always like wanting to present himself as a cool guy. And I see him and he's like, what, you're not even going to say hi?
No.
Yeah. I've never, ever, ever shared this story with anyone. I can't believe I'm just doing it here on this podcast. But
I feel so honored. Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
It's just crazy. But I feel like because I was thinking about him and we were, the dust was flying through. There was just like a ton of movement with the family, with the death and all this stuff.
Unbelievable.
And I saw him and then because he So, I mean, it's story after story of why he can't work, why he's in a wheelchair, whatever. He would walk. He like parked his wheelchair and walked. He was fine. He just had some kind of knee issue. I don't know. I really don't know.
When you're a
he was
heroin
so
addict,
out of
I
it.
imagine.
And like just like the lack
That's
of
the
emotion, my heart shot up in my throat when I saw him, because he was like my big brother growing up, and I love him so much. And he was so beautiful. He was like such a cute guy. And like, I know that's like whatever, but like he was young, attractive, brilliant. I was like, you should have been a lawyer. He's like a hustler. He was a street hustler. He sold drugs. He was like so talented in that way that I'm like, if you only would have just like, anyway. So the story is that I saw him. We walked through the Vons.
He got up. He parked his wheelchair,
Parked
got
his
up
wheelchair,
and walked with you.
walked with me through Vons.
Holy.
And he's really tall. And he was asking me about my grandmother and my grandpa. And he's like, I know there's a ring for me. I know he left a ring. Like he wanted to like sell the
Get some
ring.
jewelry
He was just
from
like, it was just, anyway. But that girl that was always with my cousin, that was Jessica.
Yeah.
And that girl was always, yes, he was like abusive. I say that in quotes because he was just like a dick, you know, he's just a dick. And I feel like a lot of kids had dick older siblings that just like treated you like shit, beat you up, called you names. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Well, I don't think it's they have them necessarily living in their home with them, and you can't escape them because they're in your house with you. Like, he's not just your cousin who you see on holidays and treats you like shit for that, like, 5 hours that you're together.
Is that common?
You're in a house with somebody. It's like, it doesn't... I think it's common for people who have trauma. Yeah.
Like, but is it common for people to have siblings that are assholes to them and like hurt them and abuse them?
I think it's common, but doesn't mean that it doesn't make it not painful and not
Yeah.
traumatic, and that you don't have PTSD from it, and that you don't have suffer from anxiety from it.
I feel like Jessica does, but Jess somehow feels like so healed and forgiving and loving towards him and having empathy.
Absolutely.
I've done all this personal development work. I feel like nothing but like, I just hope that he's okay with whatever, like completely healed. And then I feel like there is this little splash of Jessica. And like, I wonder, and I kind of went off the rails, but I want to talk about the feeling you get after not seeing an old friend or old sorority sisters or old someone after you've grown and become this other version of yourself, and then going back. It's like you're going back and stepping into your old life for a moment when you talk to these people you haven't seen in so long. Can you talk to that? Because I want to talk about that.
Well, I will say that there is one sorority sister in particular who I can't imagine, if I were to see her today, I would feel immediately self-conscious about, do I have enough money? Am I presenting myself in a way that she's not going to make fun of me? She always had it together. Like, on her summer breaks, she would work at Nordstrom, and she would walk around with her Diet Coke, with her lemon squeeze, and her outfits were always put together. Her license plate in high school was so ice, because I don't know why. I think because she had so much ice in all of her drinks, all of her sodas.
Or
and
isn't ice like bling?
And also bling. But she was smart, she was witty, she was funny, she was sharp. I was attracted to a friendship with her because she was high level, productive. She got good grades. I mean, she was just, but she put me down a lot. And she made me feel stupid a lot. She made me feel less than but what she didn't see is that a reason why a lot of people liked her was because she was also my friend. And so she burned bridges all the time when she drank, and she was kind of nasty and mean to people. But because I was friends with her, she was kind of like a safe person. You know what I mean? Like, people would excuse it, I think, in some ways, because I'm not somebody who's going to put anybody down, because I'm Anais on the inside, okay? And so it's like, if I were to get together with her today, I would feel totally insecure. I would go right back to that college girl.
I was thinking you were going to say you would feel, well, I just, yeah, okay, wow.
I would, because she holds that kind of power.
That's interesting that someone like that who is in so much pain, who needs to heal so much because anytime someone needs to put someone else down, it's because they're hurting inside.
Yeah, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah. And so like someone like that is in pain could make you feel like that. Isn't that interesting?
I know.
It's just interesting. There's no need to like judge it or be shameful about it. It's like, it's interesting.
And I was just watching this docu-series. It's a 3-part docu-series. It's dark as night.
Is this the one you were talking about earlier?
A cult documentary.
Oh, wait, no. You're talking about something with dogs or something.
I watch a lot of documentaries. I mean, honestly.
I want to watch more documentaries. Will you give me some recs?
Well, this one's dark as night. So if you like something that's really dark, hard to get through, makes you have to pause it so that you can breathe and take a breath and you need to stand up a few times and like think about the life. But it's on Hulu, and it's about the Sarah Lawrence sex cult, and it's called Stolen Youth. And it's about this father who comes in and basically ends up making a cult out of his daughter's friends at Sarah Lawrence College years ago.
What?
And it gets so dark. But as I was watching this group of kids, right? He got them like right at the right time. But we're talking about some of the people who were brought into this cult. One girl graduated from Columbia, came from no money, got a full ride to Columbia, then got a full ride to Stanford. I might be mixing that up. Got her doctorate, was like 15 days away from becoming a full-blown psychiatrist and doctor, and was wrapped up into this cult.
So did she not become a doctor?
No. He destroyed lives. And that's what I'm saying.
Maybe I do want to watch
series.
This. I mean, I don't mean it like,
no.
But yeah, I kind of like, yeah.
It's kind of like you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. I like to watch these things because I want to make sure I never end up in a cult. I need to see
You
the
will
warning
never
signs.
end up in a cult.
Well, this is
you're
what I
not,
want to talk about.
I don't think you're someone would be like, I can manipulate her.
There was a time in my life.
Shut up. What?
When I went to a golden era audition. Now, if you're watching this.
Oh, God.
And you're an actor. And you see a casting call for golden era. Drew knows what I'm talking about. It's for Scientology, okay? It's under the mask of golden era, but that shit is a Scientology production company, okay?
Really?
Golden era. I was living in Orange County at the time in a really shitty relationship with a guy who told me, he was like basically Laura, but a man. And he said,
Laura?
You're not that smart.
Wait,
Laura, the girl who,
you didn't say her name.
Oh, I probably should say her last name.
Who's Laura?
I think she likes me now because she's like, I've seen her in some commercials.
Well,
like,
what if she listens to this?
She might. And Laura, we got to deal with her shit.
Laura, you're in
I don't
pain.
want to deal with actually.
Laura, go to therapy.
Yeah, go to therapy. She might be.
And like, honestly, we send you love. Hurt people, so you are hurt. And
and I don't know how she is. I'd like to know.
Empathy.
I'd like her to open up and be vulnerable about that.
Okay.
I would meet with her.
All right.
If she wanted to do that, then I wouldn't feel insecure.
Okay.
I'd feel insecure if I had to pretend that she wasn't
and like
a hurtful person.
Yeah.
But I went to this audition, drove from Orange County, had just broken up with this boyfriend at the time. This was years ago, before, like right as I was becoming an actress. He told me he couldn't date an actress. And I was like, well, you're done then. At least I had enough self-esteem.
I can't date an actress?
Yeah, because he didn't want me to have to kiss other guys.
Oh, God.
And I was like, listen, this isn't like an ingenue. I'm not going to be kissing anybody.
But just anyone who says that.
Oh, kick him to the curb.
Yeah.
He would say things to me like, well, Anais, you're not that smart. Yeah. And he meant it.
He meant it from, I don't think he really would feel that way. What does that say about him? So you're dating a girl that you don't think is smart? There's a lot to unpack there.
Oh, so
okay, wait, talk about the golden thingy. Okay,
golden so I show up and I'm going to this audition, driving from Orange County. I'm like hollow because I just broke up with this guy. I'm trying to figure out my own self-worth, find it for myself because he's destroyed it. I pull up the Scientology building and I'm like, this is a fucking Scientology commercial audition. Well, I drove an hour and a half. I'm gonna audition.
No.
Jess, this story gets wild. So I walk in, and I'm at this point performing out of anxiety. Okay, I'm performing to make Dad live. Okay, that's where I'm living. That's the space. Haven't gone to therapy yet. Haven't dealt with the fact that no, I love performing. I'm performing in the anxiety space. So I walk in, sign in, walk through the halls. They're telling me that they do pancake breakfasts on Saturdays or
All right,
something.
I can get behind that.
I hear they're actually really good.
Is it unlimited pancakes? We got a limit?
I think it's unlimited. I think it's unlimited.
Okay.
So I go there, I sign in, I'm waiting. And this really friendly desk clerk person, secretary,
I'm terrified.
is like, wow, so you're here for blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. She's like, I do the audition. She's like, you know what? I just have to say, you're beautiful. And of course I'm excited. And I'm like, thank you, but I got to get going. There's another girl who comes out and she's like, do you want to do casting director workshops? And I'm like, think I've heard of casting director workshops. And she's like, listen, we have really amazing casting director workshops. I don't work with Scientology, but there's this casting office that there is some ties and they'd be great. Would you like to sign up for a casting director workshop? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll kill two birds with one stone. I was here for a sham of an audition. At least I'm going to get a casting director workshop out of this. I go in, I'm waiting. Next thing you know, I'm filling out a 200 questionnaire about my personality.
No.
Next thing you know, I'm in a tiny office with a man behind a desk who's asking me why I think Scientology is bad. I'm getting a binder slammed in my face, which is all of these points as to why Scientology is actually, it's like a debunker. It's like we're going to debunk everything you've ever learned about Scientology right here, because look at the page that's laminated about why Scientology is good. And in this moment, because it was one time Tom Cruise had just jumped on Ellen's couch and everyone was kind of like, the world was like, what the hell is going on with
Oprah's
Scientology?
Couch?
Was it Oprah's couch?
Oprah.
Okay. So sorry, Oprah.
Sorry, I don't want to be that guy.
No, please.
But I had the visual and I just want to
really
make
appreciate
sure.
it. Thank you for clarifying, because
Yeah.
people at home would be like, this bitch is
she
not
just
that
let
smart.
that slide. No, they would be thinking about me not letting it slide. No, no one thinks you're an idiot.
Everybody does.
No one. Literally no one.
No, I know.
No
But
one.
they do.
Especially me.
Thank you. Anus.
Okay, wait. So
he's
how the
saying-
hell did you get out of there?
And I'm telling you this. In that room, this tiny little office with this man in a
I
business
think I've
suit.
seen those offices on the Lee Remini thing where they do the like lie detector thing or whatever it is.
Where they do the where you hold.
Yeah,
what is
you
that?
hold a thing.
It was not that yet.
But I've seen that
But
kind of.
in that moment,
You were in
this
one of those
tiny
offices.
space, his eyes, and I don't believe in Illuminati and stuff. Maybe I do. Maybe you could tell me that I should.
I know nothing of that world.
Okay, it's like a reptilian people who bring people. I don't know. His eyes shifted. They got black. It was like his eyes changed, and I knew I was not safe, and I knew I had to go along with whatever the program was to get me out of that office. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe I would try. And he was like, it's a class. It's like a 3, whatever class.
I probably would have done the same thing. You're a survivor.
I had no money to my name.
Yeah.
Signed up $120. Walked through the Scientology building. Had to sit.
You paid $120?
Yeah. Had to sit in a giant movie theater by myself.
Shut up.
To watch a 25-minute propaganda video of Scientology being so great, and all of these celebrities that are like Scientology.
So you spent $120? I can't
For
get
that video.
off that.
Then
you paid.
I paid.
You
I
had
gave
no
my
money.
credit card. Cha-ching. I had no money. I had no money at this time. Okay, none. Not much has changed.
And you were
No
you
money.
were fully aware that you were just trying to get the hell out of there.
Trying to get the hell.
And you couldn't just leave?
No, because
Why?
I felt unsafe.
What were they going to
So I
do?
felt
Hurt
like-
you? Lock you up?
This is a good question. I think this is the question that
You
is
just
to be
felt-
had about why people join cults. At the time, I was so hollow.
Yeah.
I didn't feel secure in myself. I felt like I was an idiot. I was being told I was an idiot by this
Yeah.
guy who said he loved me for so long. I had all this past pain and trauma that I hadn't worked out yet in therapy. So I was like, I have to follow along with the program. I went into the Dianetics room while they're holding the things. And I remember, because both my parents were psychoanalysts. And that's another thing. I have 2 psychoanalysts for parents. And Scientology is a system in which they say therapy is bad. I walked through this room where all of these people were at desks doing their worksheets. and they all looked vacant. Their skin looked gray. They looked so unhealthy and so depressed. And I could see it from a mile away. I was like, this is fucked up. Walked through, got my little books that I was supposed to bring home. That was $120 and left. I immediately called my mom and she broke out in hives. She was like, get out, call your acting coach. I called my acting coach. He said, cancel every single credit card you have in your wallet right now.
Oh, because
the books, like the building had closed. I couldn't go back into the building. I'd been there for hours. He was like, tomorrow you have to drive those books back and return them in person.
Why?
There's something in the books. There's a chip in the books.
No.
You can't keep those books. You have to return them and you only get your money back rightfully if you return the books. Otherwise, if you have property of theirs, they could say that they're not going to give you their money back. You can't do it with Scientology.
Did you get the money back? Why am I so concerned about your $120?
Returned, got the money back, and for years I was getting letters in the mail from Scientology for years and years, no matter how many places I moved. And it was a very, but this is the whole thing, is that if I didn't have my mom to call, if I didn't have somebody to touch down with at that time, because there was so many burned relationships, this bad relationship burned so many other ones, I don't know would I have gone and taken the class?
I mean,
maybe.
I don't think you would have. I feel like you were really, what time is it? I just want to make sure we're good. 43. What does this mean?
We spent 43 hours talking about Scientology.
43 hours.
And Anais.
Wait, I want to just see.
I think 43. Sure. We're at 43 minutes.
Have we really
been talking for 43 minutes?
43? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm just like, I wonder what time it is. It's crazy. Wow. But yeah, I can see how I got to watch that documentary. It's a documentary series. It's not like a movie. Okay.
3-part. It's only 3-part.
Yeah, I can see how people could actually, I mean, of course I can see. It's the battered, the bruised, the broken, the hollow. Yes. Those are the people that are very vulnerable to cults.
And so when you think about that, aren't we all? Aren't we all battered, bruised, and broken? And the only difference is if we have other people in our lives who we feel connected to, who we feel supported by. If we don't have those people,
I think also youth.
We're subject.
Potentially, yeah.
Because
if you're
what
alone,
got you out of Jessica and into Jess?
I think it was a slow process. I think it was just like starting my little business in my garage.
And what started that? What was the catalyst, the fire?
I got fired, and from a shop I was working at. I had kept leaving a grooming shop because I kept leaving for auditions.
I remember you telling me.
And just like your audition today, where you just drive an hour and a half to walk across a room, which is so crazy to me that anybody, like commercials for brands that need actors to come in person and walk around in a room. I mean, I get it.
For a camera, for one little camera that they're going to look through.
So it just seems so unproductive. But especially now, and like, it's just like, who cares anymore? TikTok, it's like, like people, I like watching real shit. I think everybody does.
Yeah, we're craving that as society right now.
Yes, we're
we are
craving
it. Truth, honesty, connection.
Yeah, but I kept having to go because auditions were always in Santa Monica for some reason, and I used to work in Toluca Lake, so I would go from Toluca Lake to Santa Monica, and I got really good at changing outfits while I'm driving. I don't know if you do that.
Not
it's
anymore.
Really easy. I still do it.
It's easy in your 20s. When you're 38 years old and trying
to change,
do it. You're sore. Your body can't move like it used
really?
to. Yeah, I can't get into a shirt
I have it down, and I don't care if I'm in a bra for a second. Like, I don't care. Yeah, my windows are tinted. Also, who cares?
I don't care either. Yeah, I don't care if
but
someone driving by sees me.
I will sometimes go to like my physical therapy down the street, and I'll be in like sweats or like workout clothes, and I'll just like take my shirt off and put a dress on in my car, and then just take my pants off, and it's so easy. I just do it all the time.
You have to find a red light though before you try and pull those pants around the ankles.
Yes, or you could just and just do one leg at a time, but just red lights. It's just so easy. Anyway, I don't know why I went off on a tangent. I really want to don't want to encourage people. You know
Oprah
what?
would be pissed.
Change your clothes in your
While
car
you're
while you're
driving.
driving. It's fun.
So you got fired from this job because you were changing in your car, driving
I mean,
around to
yeah, I would just have to
auditions.
leave all the time with like a full roster of dogs. So I would have a day full of dogs, clients in, and I would just be like, and you get these auditions the day before.
Yes.
So I couldn't really change my schedule. So I would have to do is rush over to Santa Monica and rush back. And it was like a good
So stressful.
hour and a half, I would
Yeah,
say.
at least.
At least 2 hours, yeah. And my boss, I mean, I'm also not a good employee, I think. And I was always,
better boss. You're a better
I'm
boss.
a better boss. I was always wanting to be an actress. I was always wanting to be someone who, I just didn't want the weight of a business on me. I wanted to be able to have freedom to go on auditions. That's when I started my business, to have freedom, which is so funny. I teach a business course. It's called the JRG Business Magic. I'm actually launching it March 6th.
It's amazing.
It's really exciting. I've launched it a few times, but I do it once a year. And so
And could it be for anybody starting any business?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be dog grooming business.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. And so in the course, I talk about how funny it is that entrepreneurs start businesses to be free.
Isn't that funny? Because then
It's
you're
so
married and
funny.
tied to your business.
You are.
Like,
But in the course, I teach you how to get out. My business is being run without me downstairs right now
yes.
while I'm hanging out with you. And it took me 3 years to, I was like, I made like a metaphor of like, it feels like with each employee that I empower and educate, it's like a step out of a well that I am climbing out of. And they are happy in the well. They're safe. They feel good. They feel comfortable there. And I'm able to leave and be free.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if that's a well is the best visual, but like a beautiful, sparkly well that's like made
are
of
happy
pearls.
down there in the well.
It's like a crystal gorgeous well. It's like
yes,
beautiful.
absolutely. It's a yes.
Not a well, but like maybe it's like
we-
a beautiful like underground cave. I don't know. But like I just feel like I've made the moves to free myself.
Absolutely.
Now I'm
That's
thinking about-
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
It's been a
'Cause
big
so many
priority of
people-
mine.
So many people are unable to what's that word I'm looking
Release,
for?
escape,
Release, but
be
like
free.
manage people to I'm gonna have you have the reason why I don't know it is I don't know it for myself.
No, I know what you're saying is like to empower someone else to take that role.
Yes.
And do the. You have to have a level of trust, a big level of trust, and you have to release perfectionism.
You know what?
That's
That right
the
there
biggest.
is my whole thing for 2023.
Really?
And I
Releasing
was wondering,
perfectionism?
what's going to be like my mantra this year? I wondered. And then the universe handed it to me.
What?
And it was destroy the idea of perfectionism and destroy the idea of expectation.
Love that.
Let it go. Don't limit your expectations. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, you got to limit your expectations. No, I don't want to limit them.
That's great.
I don't want to limit the possibilities for my future. Why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
I want to destroy it. And I want to just be free. Like what you said, that your whole, in having your business, I actually wanted freedom, but you do have it now. Because there's so many things you have to do in order for the freedom, but
It was so
exactly
important
what I
to
needed.
me. So your mantra is destroy perfectionism?
yeah, release it. Because talk about anxiety. It started at Christmas. My family was coming over, and all of a sudden, it was like this thing of like, as I hosted Christmas with like a big group of people.
I was busy.
And
I had a lot going on.
You had a lot going on. Yeah. Of
I
course.
would have, like, if
Right.
I had the invite,
And I
would
just want
have.
you to know, like, it was like my mother-in-law, my mother, my fam. It was like family, and not to say that you're not family. You know what I mean?
It's fine. Like, if you were to have invited me, I would have probably come. But I was also most likely very busy.
You had to cancel like 15 things in order to do that, and I didn't want to do that to you.
I would say like one thing.
One thing, okay,
Maybe not.
and maybe that didn't exist.
I'm
Maybe you were
putting it
wide
out
open
there.
on Christmas morning.
Next year's next year.
Next year. Okay,
My inbox is open. That's all I'm
Perfect.
saying.
Great to know.
I love mothers.
just looked at my
and I'm
socks, by the way.
So alone.
I look put together, but then underneath is just those.
Your socks are cute.
I know they are actually really cute.
They're stripy. They're red and white stripy.
and I'm green. So this is Christmas. I'm Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm a representation of Christmas right here.
Okay, go.
And my
Come
family,
on.
everybody came
Say
over.
it.
I got anxious. I need to have the hors d'oeuvres out. Everything has to be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And it's twofold, right? It's like I can feel my family's need and struggle with their own idea of perfectionism. And when they're in my home, now all of a sudden, all of us are trying to be this thing. So what I did was this, and this is for everybody at home. You take 5 milligrams of an edible.
I was not expecting you to say that.
And then you welcome people into your home.
Sure.
And then you say this at the door. Welcome, I'm on 5 milligrams of an edible. If you would like to join in, go ahead and get it in the pantry. Otherwise, this is the Christmas. Come on in, you're welcome. You're welcome.
You said that to your fam?
Absolutely. Because here's what I realized. I can't pretend. I can't pretend that I'm not struggling with perfectionism. I can't pretend that I'm not struggling with expectations.
On 5 milligrams of
this is how
edible
you function
with your family and your kids and the chaos of Christmas.
This is how you function.
You just don't give a shit.
You watch your mother-in-law talking to you and you realize your inner child is struggling. Yeah. And then you watch your sister-in-law and you say, oh, I can totally see the relationship between the two of you for the last 30 years and how it's hard and how it's good. Wow. I'm going to go over here now. Anybody want this other thing? You see,
and you overeat those crudités.
And you eat the shit out of the crudité.
Chips, guac.
And you don't give a shit about the fact that not all the apps are out. And you say, anybody else want to get in the kitchen? Because I'm too busy entertaining everybody, too busy mingling, too busy being high.
Wow. Holy shannoli.
That is how you entertain.
Hell
you
yeah.
entertain on 5 milligrams of an edible.
Yeah.
It is 100% easier.
That's great.
Now here's the thing.
Yeah.
You could sometimes get anxious. I've had people over in my house and then that 5 milligrams has backfired on me and I'm like more anxious. Yes. So
you're more anxious or they
Yeah,
are?
you have to know where you are. Where am I? Am I in a space where I can have 5 milligrams and feel relaxed?
So you're not a booze drinker then?
I like booze. Yeah. I like wine.
Because booze is usually what the masses, I would say, choose. I'm going to have a cocktail and that'll take the edge off. Yeah.
With the 5 milligrams, you don't get hungover at all.
No.
It's easy. And you can have a cocktail, but you don't really want more than 1 or 3.
Yeah.
Do you do edibles? Is this bad for your business? Can you not say on the podcast?
Oh my God.
Okay.
I usually have a joint dangling out of my mouth for the most part.
Where is it right now? Did you swallow it?
No, I'm focused.
Okay.
For our
Can you focus
podcast.
on when you're high?
Yes. I grew up in LA. I've been smoking weed since I was,
It's in the air.
It's in the
That's
air.
the smog.
It's pumped through
It's just marijuana
all the
smoke.
vents in every building. No, but like
yum.
I started doing this. It's called Pro Tabs. Have you heard of those?
No.
They're they have sativa and indica, and I can only take a quarter of it. But I wonder if that's. I think that might be 5 milligrams.
Probably.
It is cozy as fuck. Yeah.
Okay, so
It puts the indica is like, it's called lights out, and it puts you to sleep. It makes you cozy and chill. Although you don't have to go to sleep. You could just be like, very mellow. I haven't taken the sativa one. Edibles freak me out because one time, everybody has that one time, but I like ate way too much. And it was just like, whoa, like as everything, like I would move and it's like, my whole body is liquid. Like I feel like gross. But like these Pro Tabs are really fun, and that's new, and I think it's better for me.
And it's you ingest it.
Yeah, it's like a pill, and you cut it into quarters. I'll give you one, like if you want to try it.
I love it. You get it at the dispensary.
Yeah.
Pro Tabs.
Yeah. The thing is, my new assistant
Sponsored by.
used to work at MedMen, which is a cannabis store, and a dispensary, and he knows so much about weed. And so he's like, I was like having trouble sleeping, blah, blah, blah. And he was telling me about it. And it was just really helpful.
Dang.
So I guess the biggest lesson we've learned today is when shit hits the fan, take drugs.
100%.
Don't be a Scientologist.
Yes. Therapy, obviously.
All the therapy. And if you're hurt, you hurt other people. And don't go to Vaughn's.
Because you might run into your old cousin there.
And also, we
shop with
embrace
you.
a scrunchy legging lifestyle.
God, of course. Now, can I just ask really quick?
Yeah.
When you were shopping with your cousin, were you Jessica or were you Jess?
I was Jessica in that moment. I don't know. This whole Jessica thing, it's kind of new, but it's something I want to explore because I want to fuse the two. So, by the way, it was all about like my finances, which was like my personal account was like very, you know, not happening in there. And my business
You go
accounts
into that
were
bank
good.
and everyone's like, oh,
Yeah,
so
I'm like,
sorry.
whoopsies.
Here comes Jessica.
Yeah.
You go into the other bank as
It's like,
Jess.
oh, hey, look at this baller.
Yeah. Can we have you come over here into our small
please.
business?
Exactly. So what I did was I transferred money, $5,000 into my personal account. I probably shouldn't say that, but here we are. We're getting real.
You got to.
I transferred that much money into my personal account so I could feel what it's like to be financially secure in that account and feel like it's okay. I'm going to have this money and just feel what it's like for Jessica, my personal account, to have that much money in it, which it never, ever, ever does.
Did it make you feel more whole?
It feels like it just happened last night. And I'm feeling it now. And I just feel like I'm excited. Part of me is like, oh, can I trust myself to not spend this money? But like, I want to work on that. And I am working on it. And I'm like moving through with grace.
Oh, that's another thing. Ease and grace. Because the reality is without Jessica is probably the reason why you've built the business the way you have, and the reason why you treat your employees the way that you do. The reason why you have grace and the reason why you have empathy is because of Jessica. So without Jessica, Jess would be just like a tyrant.
Yeah, well, how would she know? How would she know the pain and darkness that Jessica has experienced? How would she know? And she's healed so much. So now my heart and soul and everything is so full of love and empathy.
Yes. Yeah. Which is why your business is successful.
And also I feel like, just to bring it all together, I feel like anybody listening or watching can relate to suffering. And that's something I learned at Hoffman is Kristen Neff, who wrote Self-Compassion. It's a book, and we study it hard at Hoffman. But basically, Hoffman, I learned, people think I'm suffering, so I'm separate. But in reality, I'm suffering, so I am with humanity, because we all suffer. We are all connected through suffering. Yes. And it's just the common denominator with any human. We all suffer. We're all connected through suffering. And with her sort of, I don't remember if I've mentioned this before, but her 3-part thing of what she does when she's having a moment of suffering is to put her hand on her chest, and she says, I'm having a moment of suffering. We are all connected through suffering. May I be kind to myself in this moment? And so she says a prayer to her higher power of whatever that is, the universe, source, God. May I be kind to myself during this moment of suffering. And so that 3-part thing, I also talk about that in my business course, because if you can just have some kind of tool like that to get you through it, I feel like it's really, really helpful.
Because so many people feel like I can't have my own business because I'm suffering.
Because there's a ton of reasons.
Didn't grow up with money.
Yeah.
Because I struggled as a child because of this or that.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough to have this thing for myself, when really it's what makes you special. It's what makes you a fighter. It's what makes you resilient. It's the reason why you should have a business. We need to have people in high levels of business who know what it's like to suffer, so that they can have more empathy and more compassion for the people who work for them and for the world.
Yes.
We need people to be
accept those people to be rich also.
Very, very rich.
Very rich, because they will do so much good with that money.
Yes.
And they will show people what's possible.
We did it. We did it. We tied it all together.
Let's work on that. Let's workshop that song.
Workshop that song. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think there's definitely a start to that song. I'm an alto,
just so you know.
Okay, I feel like
I feel most comfortable like this.
Yeah. Okay. That would be fun.
Actually,
to make a cute song. I'll play guitar. Do you play any instruments?
Nope.
We'll find something.
Anais has nothing to offer.
You're not Anais.
It's okay. It's what makes me compassionate.
I love that. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Honestly, thank you.
This is, guys, I haven't even looked at this camera.
You haven't given any attention to that camera.
Friends, this is the first shot of both of us. Friends, thank you for hanging out with us today. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. I hope it inspired you. I hope it brought you some joy. And I hope you can go forth and have a lack of perfection and lots of mediocrity in your life.
Oh,
And be
give
so
yourself
happy.
grace. Yes.
So happy with mediocrity.
Oh my God. Honestly, the most powerful thing I think I ever say in life is, yeah, I don't know the answer to that. You know how free you are in not knowing? I don't know. And I'm free.
Amen. Okay, bye. Love
Bye.
you. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Love you too.
Christmas.